Okay, so before we get started, I want to remind people that if you would love to come and join us for our Zoom, please feel free to click in the description and there will be my email and you can email me and we can go and I will email you and I will I will invite you to the next Zoom that we have. I will add you. Sorry, tongue tied. And yeah, but always go to the description because that's where my email will be. And just email me and I will add you. And this is a safe place for all of us to talk, whether it's spirituality, non-duality, twin flames, whatever. Please feel free to join if you have anything you want to.
Yeah, it's a space to talk about non-duality and twin flames and spirituality and even divine connections. I kind of wanted to add that because on my journey, I did have a divine counterpart and a twin flame. So this is their space to do that and talk about it. And yeah, let's just get started with the day. Just email us and we'll let you know when our next Zoom is.
Yes. Um, did you have something you want to add?
No, you can get started if you want. Like whatever came up for you this week.
Well, the one thing that came up for me, on my way coming to my mother's, I normally don't listen. I used to listen to music all the time. Like that was my thing. That was my jam. Like I was always listening to music, but now not so much anymore. And I think because a lot of the music that I used to listen to or whatever, there was a story there. And I used to get really attached to these songs that would play. And now when I listen to it, it's just, jamming along with it, but there's no more narrative there. There's no stickiness there to it. So when I do listen to it, it's very random. And there's no more like, especially when the love songs play, it's not there anymore. There's no attachment.
There's no more story around the song.
What about you?
It's funny you brought that up right now because I never realized it, but yeah, me too. Wow. I'm listening to music just to listen to music. It's no longer has a meaning, but I didn't even know that until you said it. Like, and that's why these Zooms are so cool, right? Like when we share with each other, because I never thought about it. I still love music and I still listen to it, but there's no story, meaning, past story, around the music. Like, wow, that just blew my mind because I didn't even know that I experienced that. And yeah, what a difference, right?
Right. And it's because, when realization appears to happen and all of a sudden everything that you were once taught and told was true, right? You were taught that there were these narratives and concepts, right? And that's where the attachment comes in to things, to songs and people and blah blah blah, whatever. But when realization happens, there is no more concepts. There is no more story. There is nothing. Everything that you once thought was true is nothing. So when the songs play, there's no more story.
Yeah.
There's no more concept. Yeah, go ahead.
There's no more attachment to this song means something for this person. And this song was when I don't know. It's just the act is just listening to music. So it's just music playing for the sake of music. So like that story gets killed, that those memories get killed. I mean, you could think about it a little bit, but there's no hanging on. And, it's just like the song appeared to play, it's just like everything else. It's just an appearance that's happening. Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking at it deeper now. since you just brought it up, it's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no stickiness, right?
Yeah, yeah. There's no
You know,
stickiness.
uh, I just jam out now. I just really jam out. Where before I used to be sobbing, fucking crying, thinking that the song was had to do with something that I was going through with a breakup, or maybe someone that has passed that was close to me, whatever, or a dog that had passed, a cat, any whatever comes to mind. There's this whole story that I would build around that song, and I used to be in tears sometimes, or sometimes I would think of like the past, of old songs that would come up. You know how when old songs come up, it comes. Okay, I remember apparently the past, of dancing to certain songs and jamming out, but it will come up, like a memory will come up, but there's no longer like it doesn't stick. It's there and then it goes. You know what I mean?
There's like not a continuation of a thought, like it's okay, the thought will happen. Oh, I listened to this song at this time or whatever, and then that's it. It's just like it arises and dies at the same
Yeah.
time. And then there's no more like, oh, I wish I would have danced this way, or like all the mind ways of it the way it used to. It is what it is. Like it's a song, there might be a memory, and that's all. There's not this continuation of, oh, he hurt me, or I was sick that day, or whatever, just this big drama of whatever it is. But I think that's the way we live our lives now, right? Regardless if it's music, it's just everything is just there, it's happening. There could be a memory, there could be a frustration, there could be a happiness, and it just boom, you know just living while it's just continuously arising and falling, like all day long.
Yeah. So, also what came up for me was, thoughts in general, how the thoughts just kind of appear, but they appear, but it's like, and there may be some sadness and fear that may come up with that, apparently, but there's no longer this drawn out, like lingering attachment to the thoughts anymore. Like they come and then they go. And I'm not saying that fear and worry and doubt don't appear. Yes, apparently it does, but it comes and goes. It's no longer like, you and Monique would say sticky. It doesn't stick anymore. And the person can take it personal. That can appear to happen as well. But that's just what's happening. And it just kind of, it is what it is. Where before it wasn't what it was. It was more of a long drawn out story. Oh my God, I'm in my thoughts. Oh, she fucking pissed me off and blah, 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 blah. Oh, he did this and he did that. You know what I mean? You're just taking shit very personal. And it's okay, but it's okay to take it personal, but it's when it sticks. Is when, and it's really drawn out and you create this big ass story around it, right? That's when it's like,
last night I had this really like big argument with my brother, and I said all these things that I've never said to him, right? Like all of these things, and I was crying, and I was telling him all he did in the past, and I was taking it personal, and I cried and I let it all out, and then I just went to sleep. It's like and I woke up today and my mom was like, oh my God, I heard what happened yesterday. I'm like, what happened? And she's like, you told your brother, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh yeah, and then I talked about it again and I was frustrated. And then it just, I don't even it's just non-duality. You could cry, you get upset, you could feel strong emotions, even probably stronger than before. I was more blunt and able to express myself to him more than I've ever have, and I just was like, okay, time for bed. But before, I would have had like a temper all day and annoyed and woke up and it was on my mind and I couldn't sleep and how this and the next day would have called my sister, my brother, and you know what I'm saying? It would have
Mm-hmm.
been a story. It would have been a story, but we're not living really in a story anymore. We're just living with what's arising and shit comes up, but it doesn't linger. There's no more lingering frustration for 2 weeks, and it gets so big that you just blow up, you just blow up, it's just, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's
Um,
very raw and real now. It's more like in your face type of shit, but it doesn't linger, you know?
yeah. So it was super intense yesterday. I was like crying. And then I was like, but I like, if I look back at my life, I would have been mad and not really said what I had to say and then wanted like revenge or like I wanted, I don't know, I would want some sort of like personal attack and it's just so different than the normal, I mean, with the way I used to be, right? Like the story was playing and then I would add to it and I would make it bigger and then it was like a worser story, it's just here and now. It is what it is, and it's just different. It's just that's what it is. It's the same but different. I don't know how to explain it.
No, I get it completely. Like you said, it's just, it happens and then it goes. Like, but when it does happen, it's very raw and it's very real, in your face type of shit. It's like you feel it more intensely now. I feel like with me, when something happens with me, it's very intense. Apparently it is, right? But
Yeah.
in the story, it's very, very intense. But it doesn't last very long. Not at
You-
all.
I really love talking to you because while we talk, I feel like a lot of things go unnoticed for me until someone like you bring it up. Now, oh shit, yeah, because you don't even remember sometimes. Like I didn't know that I wasn't making music meaningful until right now, right? And then just thinking about my brother's situation, I didn't even think about it. Like it was just like you forget a lot. There's a lot of you don't even know what's happening at the same time. Like it's
Right.
there because you're not holding on to anything. You're not remembering things. So
Mm-mm.
it's like they happen, you forget about them, they happen again. And then when me and you talk in our dialogue, it's like, oh yeah, like that's the way it's happening. Like, I kind of feel like an airhead sometimes, like because I don't hold on to anything anymore. There's no story to hold on to. So yeah, it's awesome to just
It
have this
goes
dialogue.
it goes back to your when you were upset about your brother, or not your brother, sorry. When you were upset, I forgot what the hell you were upset. You were very triggered not too long ago, and you were looking up ways to heal it. Remember? And it was just thoughts that were appearing, when the whole letter thing, whatever, was coming
Yeah.
in. Well,
Yeah.
it was, you were very triggered by it. And the triggers were the thoughts that were coming up, and you were trying to heal those thoughts, but those thoughts don't last. Like they're just there for that moment and then they're gone. You know what I mean? There's no story around those triggers. There's
So
none. There's no narrative. But even though the letter seems very real, or whatever was going on, you know,
yeah.
it's still like, I think there was more of a story there because you were trying to it was starting, sticky, but then it kind of, I don't know. I don't think it lasted for very long though,
So
but
this
in
is a
different
trick.
ways.
So here's a tricky part. Okay, so I have trauma. I like let the viewers know is that I've had a really traumatic past, right? Like
Yeah.
super abusive and traumatic past. So this trauma came up again, right? Even
Yeah.
though I'm not a person anymore, there's no self and it's just nothing, but this trauma is still somehow stored in my body. And I've been afraid to say that in non-duality. I've been
Hmm.
afraid to say, hey, I have trauma, because a lot of non-duality teachers are just like, oh, what is trauma? What is this? Whatever. And I laugh about it sometimes too, but
Yeah.
when shit's getting real here. But anyway, so I have been listening to a lot of trauma healing books this past week, and I ended up expressing it to my brother because he has something to do with it. But it is being processed somehow, even though nothing's really happening. So that's something I wanted to bring up today, is that I kind of feel like non-duality makes you so limited that you can't speak as a person anymore. And I don't know how to explain it. It's like a huge contradiction in a way, because we do have feelings, and the ones that do have trauma, like me, I have trauma. My body physically reacts to these triggers, and that's true. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I'm living in this world, and I have a breakdown every time I see a certain thing. I mean, this is what I wanted to speak about today, is that non-duality is just like, oh no, that's not real, but it's real here. And I don't know. I don't know what to say about it, but it is real. But it doesn't linger the way that it used to, but it's still real. It's still something that I'm processing, even though there is no process. There's nowhere to get to, but it's still happening. Like, I don't know what you have to say about that, but that is what I wanted to share this week, is that something is happening right now, but I don't know if it's a processing trauma, but there's some sort of release happening. So I don't know if that makes sense to you, or I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like it's just what's coming up for you. And whether it's trauma or it is triggering. So we are going to be running out of time here soon. If you want to go on to a second one, but we can wrap this part up. But I feel like we don't know what that is that's coming up for you. Okay. Apparently it's called trauma and it's called whatever, but and it's a sensation that is coming up. And yeah, it is what it is. I mean, you can't get out of that, right? Because apparently in the story it's trauma, and it's real in the story. It's very real, and it is what it is. It's just what's happening. And like I said, I feel like with you, even you trying to heal it, that's just what's happening.
Exactly.
That's just what's happening for you.
Yeah, and I just feel like a lot of non-duality teachers, I mean, whatever, speakers, laugh about that. And I don't like it. I don't like it because I'm in a lot of pain. And I do feel like my past still affects me, even though I have no past. Like, I get it. Like, I'm in it, and I'm in this world. But I was severely abused, right? I have a huge abuse history. It's not like, oh, one little thing. I have like, maybe my situation's taken longer to clean up or something. I don't know, but I have a lot of abuse in my line, of life. So it's not like, oh, I got in a fight, and one, situation. It's just continuous, complex post-traumatic stress. So I just want to open floor for those that, a lot of people on the spiritual path get on the spiritual path, Shannon, because they're suffering, because they're not happy. They want to get out of what's going on. So I just want our floor to be open for those that are just not fitting in, because non-duality is this, spirituality is this. And it's like, no, you can, whatever's coming up for you is coming up for you, and that's true. Non-duality is whatever's coming up for you.
Coming up. Yeah. Well, it's just what's appearing to happen. And yes, this is a safe space for everyone to express what they're going through, whether it be spirituality, twin flames, whatever's coming up, for that listening ear. But yeah, I don't necessarily think, I think the the uncompromising non-dual speakers, I don't think that they laugh at it, but their passion is to bam. That's
your
what
head
they
off.
do. So with us, we're not uncompromising.
Yeah.
We have this realization, we know what's going on, like it is what it is. So there is no uncompromising speaking here.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Period.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we're open here to talk about everything because yeah, I think they're there to just cut your head off. They're just there to just take you into non-duality or whatever they're supposed to do. And I don't know if we're gonna get cut off right now or
No,
not.
I'm seeing it. We got some time here, just a little bit, but we will be cutting off here soon, and we can do a number two because there's other things. If you have time, not we can just wait till tomorrow. But I don't know if we'll have a whole lot.
Yeah,
I do have a couple of things here, but
okay, go on. What is it that one of the things that you wanted to bring up?
should I just bring it up in the second one?
Yeah, if you want, we could cut this off right now and then we'll bring it
Yes.
up on the second one. Cool.
Yes. All right. Well, see you in the second one.
Okay, thanks. Bye.